Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie, Lake Superior, and Lake Ontario all set water level records in July. Lakes Michigan and Huron just a hair under their all-time highs. And whether it's the rush of water into yards and basements all along the shore, or the mayhem it's causing the tourism industry, from wrecked docks and piers to drownings in Lake Michigan, we're all wondering if this is some kind of a spike or if it's the new normal. Let's talk about it with Keith Kompoltowicz, who is the Chief of Watershed Hydrology for the Army Corps of Engineers, the Detroit District. In fact, the Coastal Engineering Research Board is meeting this week in Detroit at the Crowne Plaza Hotel. And former Congresswoman and now the Public Works Commissioner for Macomb County with all of its coastline, Candace Miller. Thank you both very much for being here. Keith, let me start with you, because we get used to watching up and downs, but it was only 7 years ago that we set lows, and now all of a sudden we're setting highs. What do you sense is happening?
Yeah, we crossed or reached from low to high in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lakes now setting record highs, and the very fast nature at which the levels rose, quite honestly, caught some folks off guard.
Yeah.
We've again reached record highs on several of the lakes, and possibly set more records as we get into the fall. And that's when we get the big storms rolling across the lakes, too.
I don't understand how Superior and Erie can be at highs in Michigan and Huron. But there's clearly some things I don't understand about how the lakes work.
Each lake has its own kind of basin. So the conditions that drive the lakes are rainfall, runoff, and evaporation. And sometimes storm systems hit Lake Superior, and sometimes they hit Lake Erie, and with Michigan Huron between them. But it's been wet over the entire Great Lakes Basin for the past several months, and that has really driven this recent rise.
For one system, they all are their own separate entities.
Right.
It's really interesting. Candace, we've talked so much in this state about protecting our greatest resource. We haven't spent very much time talking about what we do if there's too much of it.
Yeah, really.
This is a really interesting problem to have.
It is. I would say that the only thing worse than high water is short water, really, because as you just said, we just had short water. And I want to tell you this, Keith, he's the man. He's the guy. He knows more than anybody about all these lake levels, so it is sort of interesting. But, you know, you live on the water. We have to deal with it. We're very blessed to live in Michigan, the Great Lakes state. And we are being impacted in Macomb County in so many ways, in our drains, on our streets. You can drive along Jefferson, and, you know, there's all these...
It's all over the place.
And people say, oh, my drain is all clogged up. And we're saying, no, that is lake level. You know, you can't pump it because you can't pump the entire lake. But
there really is a misunderstanding among a lot of folks of exactly where the problems lie.
Yeah.
But this is getting very expensive for a lot of people.
It really is. And it's all throughout the entire basin. I was just talking to the supervisor of Clay Township, that's Harson's Island. My gosh, they're having all kinds of trouble with their septic tanks are popping up out of the ground because it's so saturated. In Macomb County, it's costing us a lot of money. We have St. Clair Shores and Harrison Township that have both declared states of emergency, so that if you are not sandbagging or taking care of your particular property and you're impacting your neighbor, they could come and do it for you and charge you. But, you know, they're spending huge amounts of dollars on the sandbags, on the sand, and it is damaging property.
I mean, on and on.
It just goes on and on.
Keith, it's really hard to think of an area of Michigan's economy that doesn't end up being affected by all this. I mean, clearly it has a huge impact on tourism. I talked about the piers and the decks that are disappearing, but agriculture, there's so much wrapped up in our ability to understand and deal with this. What can we do about it, though?
Well, you know, living in Michigan, it's great that we're surrounded by the
We've always said
world's greatest freshwater resource.
Right.
And unfortunately, right now, there are a lot of negative impacts because of how high the water levels are going. The Corps of Engineers is involved in providing technical assistance to many communities across the Great Lakes Basin, including here in Southeast Michigan and in the city of Detroit itself. So we're always looking at this, always looking at ways we can help.
You know, some people think the Corps of Engineers actually control the lake levels. I hear that all the time, right, through the Sulaks, et cetera. But really, I don't know, a million opinions out there. In my opinion, it's the weather god. And then we have Keith to decipher what the weather god is telling us about the lake levels.
You got a pipeline on that?
The weather is the absolute cause of the fluctuating lake levels. And recently, there's just been more water coming in, and in extreme amounts, some of the wettest conditions that we've seen going back over the last several years.
John Gallagher wrote a piece in the Free Press not too long ago that basically said, without getting into the science of climate change, this could be a glimpse of what the new normal ends up being. If that's true, what do we need to do when it comes to not just policy, but actual engineering and the mechanicals of dealing with
Sure.
this?
So from the Corps' perspective, we're really focused on what's happening right now. So we have really good reasons why the levels have risen very quickly. The fact that they have covered the range from low to high in this
7
very
years,
short amount
yes.
of time is something that may continue to happen in the future. Again, we have to wait and see, but the preparation is to be prepared for the full range of water levels at that specific location, and the weather really is the driver of those fluctuations.
You know, and sometimes I'll get calls from people saying, geez, if they could just open up the Chicago Diversionary Canal a little bit more and let some of the lake water out. And, you know, I also sit on the Great Lakes Commission, and of course we are very focused on the Great Lakes Compact about no diversion of the Great Lakes. And I always say, listen, this is going to pass, and we cannot go down that slippery slope of diverting the Great Lakes, the magnificent Great Lakes, because it's our lifeblood here, and we're not going to just start shipping it off
for one season, and it ends up being a lifetime
decision. Absolutely.
What do we need to do, though, as far as public policy, to create an understanding of, as Keith says, if our lows and highs are going to be so extreme, and that's really what we're seeing in so many different ways in weather systems and especially disastrous weather events, what do we do to be ready?
Well, you know, it's all different, right? It just depends on the elevation of your properties and all of these kinds of things. So I'm not quite sure if there's a blanket public policy, like a statewide or a Great Lakes Basin-wide, but certainly in the local municipalities, they are most familiar with what their particular situations are, and they have to be ready. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people in Harrison Township, where I live. I've said, you've plugged up your storm drains, you've got a good sub pump and a garden hose, and keep pumping, and don't take it down, because you might need it again next year. You know, who knows? I don't know if it's climate change or what have you. I certainly think that the intensity of the rains that we have, I don't remember them being so intense as they are now, and that is impacting us with combined sewer overflows and all kinds of things.
Was going to be my next question. How much of this is about our inability to really create modern infrastructure and improve our infrastructure in time to keep up with where we are?
And that's, again, all things that will have to be considered going future to be prepared for what could be very extreme shifts between high and low water levels.
With the low water levels, we were having to talk about dredging shipping channels.
Absolutely.
And now we've got the opposite problem, where the ships are riding plenty high, and they can, in fact, this has been pretty lucrative for them, because they can carry a lot more stuff now without it sinking them. But it means these huge wakes that are flooding yards.
I've seen some unbelievable videos of ship wakes, you know, running up on folks' property, especially Harson's Island and along the St. Clair River there. But certainly we're not talking about dredging anymore. You know, that was one of those low water impacts where you had to dredge to be able to get into certain places, and that's not the case.
I'll tell you, these no wake zones, most boaters are very cognizant of the lake levels, and they try to be very careful about being in a no wake area or what have you, and certainly the freighters are really going slower, I think, through the St. Clair River in some of these areas. But, you know, gosh, people are losing their sense of humor with the guys that are just blasting along
going right
here.
Through. A no-wake zone suddenly means something that it hasn't before.
Very true.
All right, well, obviously something for us to keep watching, and if it is the new normal, we're going to have to adjust on the fly. Thank you both so much for being here. Really appreciate it. We'll continue with more final thoughts on Flashpoint right after this. Don't go away.